Hey guys, I'm back for another episode of reviewing the new Legend of Korra. Today was episode 11, entitled The Ultimatum, and I guess general thoughts. I thought it was a good episode, but once again, like a lot of the Korra episodes, even when I think they're good, they suffer from some... I think some of them are subjective problems, and some of them are more objective problems. So I guess let's just get started right into it again. My first thoughts were, oh God, please don't let this be just a Mako and Bolin story, because I can't handle either of those characters being the sole focus. And then my second note, hey look, Bolin's being a doofus. Such good writing when he's crashing the ship and being a fucking idiot. It's just, I don't. His comedy's not even funny. He's not even funny. Like, Sokka was funny. Bolin's not funny. He's obnoxious. He's annoying. He doesn't get, like, anything done. He can't even convince his stupid grandma to leave when they go and get their family. He does literally nothing. And then Mako, hey, since I banged Asami, I can fly an airship. Makes sense to me. I wish I could have removed, like, the first 10 minutes of this episode, all of the Ba Sing Se shit, because I didn't care about any of that stuff, except the grandma, Yin. I think she is fucking hilarious. My note was, oh, stupid grandma in love with the bitch Earth Queen, you so silly. Like, that's just the start of her, like, funny awesomeness in this episode. But then I was a little bit confused, because I was under the assumption that the airships in the Korra universe were not fast. Like, they were slow as hell. And when they were showing the map, I don't remember the map of the Earth Kingdom very well. The other nations I'm pretty good with knowing where stuff is. But in the Earth Kingdom, the map that they showed, it looked like Ba Sing Se compared to where the Oasis was, like, all the way on the other side of the continent. And I was under the assumption that the airships in Korra were slow. So I don't know how they got halfway across the continent in, like, half of a night. Especially when it made it seem like time was passing when they kept showing people looking out the window, but it was night when they were leaving and it was morning when they arrived, or like midday. So I think at the end, the assumption I got was they got there within 24 hours. I'm getting like weird conveyance issues because they showed like it was almost like a montage of them just looking out the window, like their various family members, like trying to say, oh, time is passing. But then the implication was they got there in under 24 hours. So it has to be one or the other. If it's they got there in under 24 hours, I don't think that makes sense because they had to go halfway across the country. If they got there in more than a couple days, that also doesn't make sense because there was no food or water on the airship. So how did they all survive? But whatever. Okay, so we're moving on. My note, again, another note is I still hate Bolin so much. When they spent like an extra minute that they didn't need to on him kissing Pabu and all that stupid shit I thought was entirely not needed. Yin, however, was hilarious when she's talking about, when she says all the nice stuff to Asami, like, oh, you're so pretty, blah, 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 and then Korra comes up and she's like, you're very muscular for a woman. And then she tells Mako, why can't you date someone like this? I thought that was great. I think she's hilarious. She has one more one-liner that I forgot to mention in my notes later on, where everyone's like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do this. And Yin's just like, I'm gonna take a nap. Yeah, that felt like original Avatar of Airbender comedy, where I feel like Bolin is not that at all. Even in like the first couple of seasons where he was a little bit better than he is now, I don't feel like he's at the level of comedy that the show deserves or even warrants. He's just he's such a bad character, and I just don't like him. So let's see on my notes. Oh, again, I totally called this last episode, by the way. I said, oh, it's possible Zaheer could be going after Tenzin. Now, it's true that he was doing it to get Korra to come to him, but I'm still going to take credit for that, so. Point Necroxis. Next, I don't necessarily have a problem with this, but it was very, very obvious that they were just literally getting all of, like, their allies so they could team up for the final battle. Like, they went and they got, like, Bolin's family was there, and then they just had to go to Zaofu because their radio conveniently couldn't reach all the way to the air temple, so they had to go there, and they had to get Sue and all of them, which, I mean, again, I don't have a problem with it, really, because I like Sue, and I like the whole Beifong group, but it was not subtle at all, like, oh, they're obviously getting all of the allies together so they can be witness to the final fight, just like in the end of last season. all of the major characters just happened to be there so they could all participate in the final fight against Vaatu. So I feel like that could have been a little bit better. But then we get to Iroh. I love Iroh so much, even though they're on their third voice actor now. The very first one in the first season of Korra, Avatar, he died. Mako, that's where Mako, the character, is a reference to. The voice actor Mako. He died, and then it was one of the Baldwins. I don't remember. I don't remember. I think it was a Baldwin who was voicing him, but now I think it's another third person. But whatever. I think all of them do a fine job. So Iroh's great. I want to make a petition to demanding Iroh has to be in every single episode, or maybe I guess instead of I guess since Korra can no longer talk to all of the past avatars because that got cut off, I think it'd be really cool if. Since Iroh seems to not want to, like, move on to heaven or whatever exists else in that whatever the afterlife is in that universe, since he doesn't seem to want to move on and he wants to just stay in the spirit world, I think it'd be really cool if, instead of the other avatars, because if the next avatar comes along, my advice would be don't listen to Korra, fucking go to the spirit world and talk to Iroh, because he knows what's up. So, I think it'd be cool if Iroh was all of the avatars' new guide instead of, like, their past versions. Because I don't even know if, like, the passing on of the spirits will even continue on after Korra's dead because of what happened. So, who knows? But I think that'd be cool if they were setting that up. I think that would be really cool. A really cool, like, hint. If they were going to do it, I think that'd be a really cool way to hint at it because I think Iroh's great. He's a great character. No matter who's voicing him, I think they're fantastic. So, awesome. So then, I was confused. This is not really a complaint. I think it might be I missed something. But where did Zuko get a dragon? Like, I haven't brought this up before, but I was thinking it the last couple times we saw him. I was under the assumption in the first series that all the dragons were dead. Like, wasn't that not what was going on? But now Zuko has a dragon. Who knows? I wanted to point that out because I don't think I ever mentioned that yet on the show. So, there you go. If I missed where somehow they said the dragons return, leave those in the comments. Like I said, it's entirely possible. I just missed that. I was just confused. And I wanted to bring it up. So, now we get to the third, I guess it would be the second act. It would be the third act. The first act was them getting out of Ba Sing Se. The second act was meeting up at the Oasis and warning people. The third act is the big battle at the Air Temple. My first note before it all began was, damn it, Ghazan, you were so close to killing Kai. You were so close. This seems to be the theme of the third act. Everybody getting super close to killing Kai and not doing it. But then we get to, like, the kick-ass scene, whatever you want to call it, not from the movie, but, like, just the prepare to kick-ass scene where it's, like, Tenzin and Boomi and Kaya, and they're all standing together, and then, like, Zaheer and Ghazan and Ming-Hua, and they're standing together, and it's like, ready, fight, and they all start fighting. But I guess to start out, let's start with Tenzin versus Zaheer. Part of me feels like, and I'm not sure how much of it is just I don't like a lot of this season and how much of it is like real objective, a real problem people should have objectively, but I just don't feel like Zaheer should be anywhere near Tenzin's level as an airbender. Not even close. That fight should have been so one-sided, and it was at first. But then, like, suddenly, in the middle of the fight, like, for the little that we saw of it, because most of it was focused on Kaya versus Ming-Hua, and a little bit less was focused on Ghazan versus Boomi. So much of it wasn't focused on that fight, but midway through what little we saw, like, a switch flipped, and Zaheer not only was, like, holding his own, but it felt like he was beginning to win. That should not be. One of the biggest problems I still have with this season is how is he such a good airbender? That doesn't make sense. He should not be anywhere close to Tenzin's level. Tenzin is like the airbender, and he's a fucking badass. And when he starts out, I was like, oh, Tenzin, you kick some motherfucking ass. You beat the shit out of Zaheer. But then it turned on him, and I was like, I don't understand. I'm not even like necessarily angry about it. I'm more just disappointed that the show needed Zaheer to win, or at the very least, it needed Zaheer to put up long enough before Ming-Hua and Ghazan could win. And it was disappointing that they couldn't figured out some other way to to have that happen. So instead of just having him suddenly turn the tides and just start winning the battle, like I wish there could have been something else. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it could have been something else. So there's that fight. Then we get to Ming-Hua versus Kaya, and this was my favorite fight of the episode. I think Ming-Hua is such a fucking awesome character, and I am totally fine with Kaya losing. Like, I had a problem with Kaya losing to Zaheer, again, because Zaheer should not be as good as he is, and it doesn't make sense why he is. But Ming-Hua was like an infamous waterbender. Zaheer was just an infamous criminal. Like, he didn't have powers. He was just an infamous criminal. But Ming-Hua was an infamous waterbender. And I thought it was, like, they represented her so well. The waterbending fight in this episode was, I think it's my favorite fight of all 3 seasons. And again, I'm fine with Kaya losing at the end, because I guess, although I'm a little surprised, Kaya, like, right from the beginning seemed like she was losing. Like, the only time she even gets, like, a hit in is when Ming-Hua's coming in with, like, the water, and you see from like, I guess the camera's, like, from Ming-Hua's perspective, but you don't see her, and, like, the water's rushing in, but then there's, like, a pond of water on the side, and Kaya, like, takes it and slams her with it, and, like, pushes her outside. I think that's the only time she, like, legitimately gets, like, a hit in. So, if it seems like Kaya seems very way too weak than what she should, I guess. Like, maybe she should have put up a better fight. But, like, Katara was, like, an amazing waterbender. Like, even when a lot of her scenes in the first series were not about fighting, but she had a decent amount. But she was a good fighter. She did well. So I'm like, Kaya felt like she just was losing, like, the whole time. But when the water was all on the ground after Ming-Hua got shot off the edge, and I tweeted about this, and if you were following me, you saw me freaking out. Like, when I saw the water, like, coming back, like, off the edge, and the water was kind of like, retreating off the edge and getting sucked back into her, and I was like, oh shit, something's gonna happen. And then she pops up with the octopus arms, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. That was my favorite part of the episode. Ming-Hua was fucking awesome. But then I guess, so, yeah, I wasn't surprised that Kaya lost at all, actually. Ming-Hua was fucking amazing. But then we get to the Boomi versus Ghazan fight, and I felt kind of bad for Ghazan in a way, because he got, like, the raw end of the deal, because he had to verse Boomi. I mean, I really like Boomi, but he's just learning airbending, and that whole fight felt really silly to me, like, not necessary. Like, it felt like Ghazan could have killed Boomi really easily if the show would have allowed it. Like, if the rules of the show stayed true to reality, Boomi would have been dead in, like, 5 seconds. All you do is you take the earth, you close it around him, and then you make lava shoot out from that where he's trapped. You win. Like, there's nothing he could have done. So, that whole fight kind of felt really silly. And really not necessary. They could have just had Boomi with the group, and maybe it was like a Ghazan versus the group before they could escape, and then maybe one of them pushes Ghazan off the edge or something for a little while, and that's how they get away, and then we see the whole scene with Pali and all that shenanigans. But that whole fight was really goofy. Like, I didn't when Tenzin was like, Kaya, Boomi, come help me, I was like, Boomi not gonna really do much. He's not an amazing airbender. I mean, he can fight well, I guess. He was in the military, but you're fighting, like, supremely powerful, bending criminals, so whatever. But then, my next comment was, damn it, Pali, you were so close to killing Kai. You were so close to killing Kai. You were so close to killing Kai. And he should have died. Kai should have been dead. You got you took an explosion right in your face. You know, take that as you will. Fucking that's what she said, giggity, whatever the hell you want to say. You took a fiery explosion right in your face, and then you fall, like, just stories and stories and stories and stories. And that's such bullshit that his foot gets caught on the tree, and that's how he gets saved, because the bison's there. My problem with Korra is they want to do more adult things, but they're on Nick, and they can't do it. Like, that scene would have been so much more impactful if Kai just died. And not only because I don't like him, and I fucking hate him, and I was hoping he was going to die, like, You guys know, from the very first... Go watch the review of episodes 1 through 5. The second Kai shows up, I was like, I hope he dies. Not even just from that perspective, but just from a storytelling and, like, an impactful, like, narrative-telling perspective. If they just straight off killed him right there, I would have been like, oh, shit, it's real now. Like, we're fucking... The Earth Queen getting murdered, that was another... That was a good example. Like... Kai not dying, to me, felt like if they would have just knocked the Earth Queen out instead of killed her. But the immediate preceding episode, they murdered the Earth Queen by sucking the air out of her lungs and making her asphyxiate, showing basically all of that except for the very last moment where she dies. Like, you can't do that, and then the next episode have someone get exploded right in the face and then fall a million stories, and then get their foot caught in a tree and survive. That's bullshit. Kai should have died. It would have made the scene much more impactful. It would have made the episode much more impactful. Even if I hated him, I still would have been like, oh shit. Like, it's real now. Like I said, it's real now. So, I don't know. I don't think Kai should have survived. That's so stupid. Like, in his story with whatever her name is, because I can't even remember right now, Tenzin's daughter, like, there's, like, nothing there. Like, their love story is so stupid and forced. It's like, just let her do her own thing. She's a great character by herself. She don't need no man. She don't need no man. She don't need no man. Like, her story's fine by herself. She doesn't need a love interest. And even if they did, the one that they gave her is a piece of shit, obnoxious little twerp of a douchebag. Like, he should have died. So anyway, then we get to the end of the episode, and when they're all ganging up on Tenzin, my note was, Jesus Christ! I thought he was just gonna get fucking murdered there, when they were just beating the shit out of him 3-on-1. Also, I thought they were gonna do the Earth Queen thing again, when Tenzin was like, not while I draw a breath. And then it cuts to Zaheer's face, and I was like, oh shit, Tenzin's gonna die. I thought he was gonna be like, well, we could fix that, and then the air just comes out, and I would have been like, that would have been like, oh shit. I wouldn't have liked it if Tenzin died. I don't think he should have died, but it would have been unexpected. It would have been really unexpected. The show would have lost a fantastic character, but this is what I'm talking about. The show feels too safe. Like, no one's gonna get hurt. Like, nobody's gonna get hurt on the show. And you could say, well, really nobody died that was important on the first series. True, but the first series was amazing in ways that Korra is not. Like, it didn't have all these stupid plot holes. It didn't have all of these obnoxious characters. It didn't have all of this unnecessary filler storyline, like all of the Kai shit, which I don't even know what a payoff could be for him, because it's just totally ridiculous. What, are they going to get married when they're 12 years old and be like, yeah, no, we're happy, and then we're going to force to see him for the rest of the series? The first series didn't have those problems. So this one does, and I think a way that they could have distinguished themselves. Because I remember watching or reading or something, an interview with the creators, and they were saying something to the effect of, Korra's a little bit more adult, because the fans, the ones who weren't already adults when they watched the first series, though the younger ones are now older as well, so we wanted the show to get a little older. That could have been a great way to do it, is have like an unexpected twist of a death of a really major character. And once again, I'm not saying I don't think he should have died. I'm saying if they would have done that, I would have respected the show for making such a bold choice. But there you go. I thought it was a good episode. I laid out a lot of the problems here, but that's because I feel like I'm better at pointing out things I don't like than pointing out things that I like. So I don't want to give the impression I didn't like the episode. I liked it. It was good. It wasn't as good as last episode, I don't think. And coincidentally, once again, both episodes, one of my biggest problems is Mako and Bolin. Like, their part in those episodes were one of the, if not the worst parts. This one was Kai's, because I fucking hate Kai, but Mako and Bolin, I would say, is the second worst thing in this episode that happened. So, ironically, I guess, you can see where I'm going. I need less of them, or I need them to get better. But I'm still interested in the show, where it's going. I'm still intrigued by the storyline. Like I said, I forgot who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody on Twitter, and I was like, oh, the new Korra's coming out tomorrow. And they were, I watched the preview, and I was posting, and I was like, I really hope this isn't a Bolin and Mako episode. And someone said, oh, this is supposed to be an info dump episode. And what I said ended up being true. I said, I don't think this is going to be as much of an info dump episode as it's going to be just a setup for the finale episode. And that's exactly what it is. We didn't really learn anything. Like, there was nothing new learned. It was just, again, it was a setup for the finale. It was a setup for Team Avatar, except for the Tenzin group. It was a setup for Team Avatar minus Tenzin to go and fight Team Anti-Avatar, the Red Lotus. That's all it was. We didn't learn anything new. But again, the fight scenes were fantastic. This might have been the best fight. I think this episode has the best confrontation scene with Bending in all of the season thus far. So, yeah, there you go. I guess we'll see you guys next week. Someone told me that next week they're showing both episodes for the finale. Someone's saying they're going to show the finale next week. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, I'll see you guys for the finale. Otherwise, I'll see you for episode 11, or 12, excuse me. Once again, the name, I have no idea what it's called. I know the finale is Venom of the Red Lotus. I don't know what this level. I keep saying level. I don't know what episode 12 is going to be called. So, whatever happens, I'll see you guys next week. So, thanks for watching. Leave comments in the comments below. I did so well, like, not messing up, and then I got to the end of the episode, and I just fucked it all up. So leave stuff in the comments below. Let me know how you felt about my feelings about the episode, your feelings about the episodes. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the finale, because I offered I vaguely gave my prediction, I think, last week, when I talked about it's going to end on a somber note. So I want to hear what you guys think is going to happen at the end of this season. Do you think Tenzin's going to live? Do you think we're going to see... I didn't even mention, Zuko said he's going back to see his daughter. So I think that's an obvious setup that Season 4 is going to be in the Fire Nation. So do you think we'll see Zuko and the Fire Lord before the season's over? I hope so, but I don't think we will. So let me know what you think about that. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next week. All right? Farewell.